Hello, everybody. Welcome live. Good morning, afternoon, evening, world, whatever you're watching. Welcome to the Connected Conversations. I am Martina Mazdrova. I am your host, and I stand as the source of a transformed world. And since this is the intention of this series, the Connected Conversations are there for you to really create connection with yourself, with the people you get to have in your life who might have been the missing link, with the piece of information, giving you the different perspective on things and unlocking something in you to move forward to the next level of your life. And I am so excited today to welcome Jessie, the confidence and image coach.
Yay,
Thank you,
thank
Jessie, for
you.
joining us.
Thank you for having me, Martina. I just love what you're doing and having the whole world connect. It's
Yes.
just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Connection, for me, I believe in connection. I believe connection is absolutely everything. I feel we are primed for connection, and connection is a source for love, for joy, for freedom, for purity. And it's been an incredible journey for me to actually align as like connection is everything. And then
Mm,
since we have connected conversations, so that empowers me, it inspires me, and that's the intention I'm creating with this series, to really connect the dots for
I
someone
love
else
it.
or whoever gets to listen. So Jessie, I am excited for our conversation because we've got some incredible topic to talk about, which is stepping and being in our power. We both focusing and working with women. I
Mhm.
believe this is generally men and women. What does that look like, being in our power? And so tell me, what does that look like when you think stepping and being in your power? What does
Mhm.
that look like? What is the journey? And actually, who you are before we even start confidence and image coach, because it goes all together. So go ahead, share with us your heart.
Well, I'm gonna start with stepping into your power. Even that's right. That was your first question, so I'm gonna go there.
Yes.
Anyways, so stepping into our power, it's for me, it's not being strong. It's not, it has nothing to do with strength at all. Because we think we have to be a certain way, we have to act a certain way, we have to XYZ, whatever we tell ourselves. And society has told us that that means being strong, doing something that you think you should do. But actually, stepping into your power is the complete opposite of that for me. It's being vulnerable to who you truly are, what you are, how you think, even though it is maybe the same as a person in front of you or not. And so stepping into your power for me is really accepting and being okay with whatever you are at any moment in life, because we change and that's okay. And that we have to continuously step into our power. And people, for me, seem to forget that. I'm guilty of it too. But we forget that it's a journey and we have to re-step into our power every time we switch things into our mindset and brain. So it's getting into your power. It's not about being strong. It's about being vulnerable, accepting, and it's part of your journey. So you keep having to, you have the opportunity to keep stepping into your power or a new power or a shifted power. That is power for me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And exactly as you said, because I know it's been a big journey for me, because I heard that be in your power, step in your power. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like powerful, like strong. That was one thing. And I know I had the associations that when I am in my power, I am strong to the point where maybe I make people upset because I stand my ground, I stand my opinion. And that was the coloration I used to have, and or understanding. And what it is now, and how it all evolved for me. I mean, I've resonated with everything that you've said. And again, it comes for me, it comes with connection, like knowing who you are, being
Mm-hmm.
authentic with yourself, being connected with, well, with my vision. I could just speak for myself, right? So knowing who I am, being authentic with myself, vulnerable with myself, creating like emotional intimacy with myself, intimacy as into me, you see,
Mm-hmm.
allowing myself where I am, what I feel, what I'm experiencing. And from this place, knowing where I'm going, what is my vision, I can be in my power because I am connected. It's again connection, because I am connected with who am I being, who am I envisioning to be, who is the next version of me to align with my dreams and my visions and all the
Mm-hmm.
things that I want to achieve and give to the world. Then I can be in my power because, fear, it never goes. We always feel fearful. Anyway, it doesn't matter what level of leadership and experiences and success we have, fear will always be there. And all the little like ego chit chats when you think of self sabotage, when you think of procrastination, when you think of, I mean, you name it, right? I feel like we can all be like, it's always going to be there. And it's just mastering your level of leadership so we can switch like this when it comes. And that me being in my power, just like, this is where I'm going, this is my vision, this is there. Maybe the judgment is there, maybe the misunderstanding is there, maybe the closest people, the loved ones, maybe they don't get you because
Mm-hmm.
you live in such a different world and reality or paradigm. And that's where the like standing in my power comes, like love
Exactly.
them, accept them where they at, and this is what I'm creating.
Exactly. And it's also for me being okay with your talent because oftentimes, especially women, we're like, we know we gifted
Hmm.
with whatever it is, but we truly know, but we're afraid to show it to the world because it is a scary place to put whatever you do or whatever you're good at in the world. And especially when we have people around us that are not aligned or at another place,
Hmm.
and thus you're gonna have judgment. They're gonna speak, not random people, but probably people close to you.
Yeah.
And and then you're just gonna say, no, it's not that important.
Yeah.
But it is important. It is who you truly are. So don't hide it. Start owning it. And that's for me being powerful. Owning, like taking ownership of your talent, of your uniqueness, of your gifts, and be generous with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Because there is, I mean, there could be the whole conversation we can have on this topic, right? Because this is so huge. And I've just done incredible training this week, and they was taught exactly about this. Like, when you speak about paradigms of
Mhm.
realities, right? Everything coexists, right? And we live like in the morning, I wake up, I put my glasses on, and this is my reality. This is how I see the world. This is how
Mhm.
I interpret the world and relationships and what I'm creating. And it's very different to my friends.
Mhm.
It's very different to my moms. It's very different to my dads. It's very different to you. Everyone we live in our own, let's say, reality or paradigm, and it looks different, and it coexists
Yeah.
with everything else. And when we stand in our personal power, it is like, this is the paradigm, this is the reality I am choosing to stand for, as well as the rest will coexist.
Mhm.
Like sometimes and I know I felt like that, I used to feel like that, and it's been beautiful being reminded of that this week, that we don't need to wait for the old to die, for
Mhm.
the old to leave, in order for us to choose something different. We get to be okay, and we get to be so grounded in what is it that I am standing for, to stand it, to stand in the personal power, so the rest can coexist. And when it comes from the family, when it comes from the friends, because maybe we just live such a different way, and the way of thinking is so different, to be okay with when they ask you, and maybe they activate the fears, maybe they activate the doubt, because this is where they at, and that is okay. And that's the moment where I am in my power, and I hear you, and this is what I'm standing for, this is what I'm creating, this is what I believe, like no matter what.
And accepting it.
Yes.
Accepting it. That's the hardest part. For me, for a lot of people, is the hardest part is accepting where emotions come from,
Yes.
where your fear comes from, and acknowledging it. But then, more than accepting it, saying, okay, good. I know you're here. Let's continue. And a lot of time, because of our human nature, we want to fight it because we want to preserve ourselves.
Yeah.
And because we want to preserve ourselves, actually, we hurt ourselves even more, because we're trying to, no, 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 I don't want you here. No, 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 blah, blah, blah. And then it takes over our whole brain, our whole body. And so it stays there, instead of saying, okay, I see you, you're there. Let's come and let's work through it. And that's hard. It's still hard for me. It's like accepting it and saying, good, come. Yeah, yeah, I'm afraid, but that's good. Let's continue. Oh.
Absolutely. Oh, that gives me chills, because that is huge. Again, because what we resist persists, right? Where I put my energy, I will create more of that. So functioning, creating, whatever it is, whether you're building business, whether you're scaling business, whether you don't have a business and you are a mom or dad or whatever hats we wear, it is the same, right? The fear, the doubt kicks in. Am I a good enough mom? And am I a good enough husband or partner or dad or leader? It is there. It is there. And then what is it? I love that you say accepting it, acknowledging it. And it's like, I see you, because at the end of the day, what it is, that's the inner children in us that were hurt. Maybe they were not heard, they were not seen, they were not loved when we were a kid. So then this moment situation comes in, and it brings the kind of awakes the inner child in us. It's just there to protect us. Like, in the past, I made this vow that maybe I'm not good enough, or it's not safe to speak up. It's not safe to use my voice because I will be rejected. If I truly say what I think, what I believe, I will be judged. I will lose my friends. I don't know, someone's gonna leave me. So then we kind of shrinking in this certain box. So I'm saying, just like, I see you, I hear you, literally giving love to what comes. And it's like, and again, vision. And this is what we're creating. This is important. My work is important. My presence is important. And just staying grounded in that vision. What is it that I am creating in the world, in my world, with my loved ones? What is it that what I want my relationships to look like? Having a 10 out of 10 relationship, what does that look like to me? And how I am the source for that. Creating this business, what does that look like? What is it that even I want to achieve? And who do I get to be to move there, right? And the last thing with this whole not enoughness, again, like and this is a huge, and I'm still learning, I'm still going through it. I feel like it's never ending journey, because there is always next level. And with the next level, I feel you get to do more in a work, because the voices inside get stronger too, So I really loved, again, what my mentor said. She's like, what is whole not enough? That is it. Because maybe right now you're starting business and you want to do 5K a month or 10K a month, maybe 20K a month. I don't know. Maybe you want to have $1 million businesses. I don't know. Maybe you want to be a wife or a husband, and you feel like, I'm not enough. Well, and what she said was just literally, yes, you're not enough. You're not enough right now for that. And so what? You are enough right now as you are in this current moment, and then we get to grow and stretch to grow to actually be able to handle what is the next level. And I love that when she said, well, yes, you're not enough. It's like, what? It's like, you're not enough for that, but you are
Yeah.
enough now, where you
Our
are now.
expectations of
Wow.
ourselves, our
Yes.
expectations of ourselves are so high that then, yes, we do freeze because we're like, that's so far and I want to go there, but oh my God, how am I? And it's because, yeah, right now we're not enough for XYZ.
Yeah.
And again, that's okay. Again, acknowledging, accepting all that. But therefore, one, we're freezing, but two, we're hiding. So nobody is seeing you. You're not seeing yourself, even. So you're hiding one from yourself, which is the worst. And then because of that, you're being super selfish because you're hiding from others and what you can bring to others. So because you have such high expectations, you become a selfish human being and you're like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm
That's
gonna.
another way to put it. Yeah.
And you're hiding and you're like, oh, no, 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 I'm not gonna show anyone because in your head, you should be there, but it's not in their head. So because in your head you should be there, you're just not showing up at all.
And then everyone's
Oh,
missing out, right? The family is missing out, the kids are missing out, the friends are missing out on the beauty and the gifts that you get to bring them.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's powerful.
own own the level you're at right now. And always
Mm.
set new goals, but own the level you're at and be realistic with it.
Yeah,
But don't forget to dream because without dreams, we cannot set higher goals.
yeah,
Anyways, it doesn't
yeah,
mean that because I say, oh, I want to be a millionaire one day, for example, it doesn't mean you cannot say that to yourself or think that. But you have to be realistic and say, okay, but my next goal is going to be 5K a month first. That doesn't mean that your 1 million goal is not going to come anyways, but just not now. And because it's not now, you're not going to stop everything because it's not now. You're never going to achieve it if you stop everything. So still dream big, still dream all those dreams you want to dream, but be okay with taking all the steps. And
yeah.
that's hard. Patience is hard for human beings.
Yes, we like to, especially nowadays, right? Everything is instant. I want a book, I want a food, I click in 15 minutes, in 1 hour, I can have it in my house. It's instant, instant, instant. So that
And
also
not
influence our ability to handle pleasure, right? And
yeah.
wait, wait,
And not
wait
only
for the
that,
fruition.
Martina, even though we get everything, and that's one part, but the other part is the internet is filled with um, I went from 0 to 6 figures in 3 months.
Yeah,
And then you it seems like your failure, and you're like, how do they do it? How did they do it? One, you don't know if it's true, first of all. Second of all, you don't know how many money they paid for ads, and maybe actually they only have $1,000 left.
yeah,
And so a lot of those messages aren't real because they're not telling you the whole truth.
hmm,
Maybe they went from 0 to 6 figures, but they spent $95,000 on the 100K. But they're just not telling you that. They're telling
yeah,
you the truth, but they're not telling you the behind the scenes. So that's a big problem for me online right now, is that a lot of coaches are just not truthful and are hammering the same message. Like also everyone is hammering the same freaking message. It's just not possible
mm,
to, there's also always exceptions, but it's not possible that every coach out there that says that went from that to that immediately. I call it bullshit. And it's not being frustrated or jealous. It's not even that. I don't have a 6K business. And you know what? I'm not going to lie about it. And that's okay. And it's not from a bad place that I'm calling it bullshit. It's from a loving place. It is not everyone, again, there's always exceptions, but most of the time, it's freaking bullshit. They're just not telling you the whole truth.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I resonate with that. Thank you, Jessie. And and I've wanted to add something to it. Anyway, it comes to me. I would love kind of to go into the next part, like, who are you actually? Because the being and stepping into your power, that's what you're doing. Confidence and image coach. And you've got, for me, very inspiring story of your life evolution, let's say, in growth, where you really did use different tools, figured out different ways on how to show up and how to be, step in and be in your power. So
it's really weird how I came about always hiding or not feeling good about myself, feeling ugly about myself, to having that being who I am today, super visible and confident most of the time. Well, I'm a human being, so of course it's still practice, still get to practice confidence. I'm very confident on some levels, and other levels I'm like, oh, and I have to work on it. But yeah, it's that one moment in your life that defines who you are for the rest of your life. That one moment can shift your whole life, and you get to or work with it or leave it like that and make it take over your life. So actually, I did a bit of both. So when I was 12, and it's like I said, people went to real trauma. So I'm not saying it's a traumatic experience in the sense of what some people went through, but still traumatic as a 12-year-old. And that those few words defined how I thought about myself for the rest of my life. So when I was 12, a friend of mine told me in my face, when one, your body is changing, everything is changing around you when you're 12, saying, Jessie, you are ugly. You are ugly. And it was just information that he gave me. Like, I think you should know.
I think you should have noticed.
I think you should know you were ugly. And I was like, that moment, I never forgot. And it was who I truly became. I became someone ugly. I thought I was ugly. I believed I was ugly. I felt ugly. So I hid all my feminine side, but everything. I wasn't a girl anymore, because a girl gets attraction. A girl gets boys' eyes on her. No, who am I to have that? I'm ugly. Please don't look at me. So I made myself uglier, actually, than I was. So wearing clothes that were weird, or like I became the, oh, Jessie dresses weird. Not Jessie's beautiful, or Jessie, no. Oh, it's just Jessie. She's weird, you know? So I became more that person. And because I truly believe that I was ugly, and that's where you see manifestation and the way you think about yourself, that the way you think attracts the way you think. Even when I was a teenager, people came up to me in the subway and just told me, you're ugly. Like, so again, I believed it more and more. But you know what? Because I had to focus on who I was as a person and not my looks, strangely, that shifted my whole life. I wanted to be talented. I wanted to express myself in different ways, or because I was hiding, but that meant that I expressed myself in other ways. And through all that, weirdly enough, because I didn't stay in my shell, I created a fashion sense. I created loving clothes. I created loving entertainment, because then I was the fun girl or the loud girl or the, and so even though I felt ugly, I had eyes on me, but not because I was beautiful. It was all no. As long as you don't see I'm beautiful, I'm good with it. You can look at me, but not
Mm,
look at me in a way that I'm feminine or beautiful, or you could hit on me. You know.
mm,
But thanks to that, actually, it shifted my whole life. So because I wasn't afraid that people looked at me, I became a dancer. And then because again, talent, my looks weren't there. Talent, I trained and I trained and I toured even. I was a choreographer for singers and all of that because I chose to go one direction, talent, and not be defined by my looks. But that's strange. Something so traumatic that I really truly thought shifted my whole life in the positive. And that's what I'm saying. I didn't hide, even though I felt that way.
mm. I love that. I mean, thank you for your vulnerability, openness, and authenticity to start with. And this is something that was coming up as I was listening to you. That well, it's actually two things. And you said it was traumatic, but other people has different traumatic situation. It's not such a big deal. But and this is, I think, this is always or often it is a challenge on its own that we compare. But our trauma is a trauma. Trauma is a
Mhm,
trauma. Trauma is a trauma. And we cannot, yes, there is abuse, there is lots of different experiences,
mhm,
yes, that is absolutely traumatic, and we live in our own world, we live in our own self. So if this is your experience which was traumatic, it is equally important as someone else's
mhm,
experience of their trauma, which I feel this is one of the challenges that we're like we don't sit with the emotion, we don't really connect with it because we start comparing a lot, but it's just there is not a big deal.
mhm,
People are experiencing this, and we undervalue and kind of, I feel, dishonor ourselves
mhm,
and how we feel because we look, but this is not such a big deal. But the fact
mhm,
is that in every person is their own being. Yes, there are different levels, different severities, if you will, absolutely.
mhm,
And trauma is a trauma, trauma is a trauma. That's what I truly believe. It's one thing which really honoring and being authentic and honest where I am and how I feel. And if
mhm,
that means this has been the most traumatic event in your life and shaped your life, yes. And for someone else is different. And that's
mhm.
equally important,
Yeah.
equally big, equally, it's equal in a way. That's kind of what I believe in.
Mhm,
And the second thing is that you just said it as like it was one of the most traumatic situations, let's say, or events that really shaped your life, and you actually viewed it at the end as a gift
mhm.
because you shape out of it. You now empower women. You're out of that experience. You've grown, you've healed, you've developed, you've learned, you've transformed. Now you're a confidence and image coach because you lived it, right? You've done the healing. There is, I feel that's the only way we can really coach and teach and support once we walk the talk, right?
Exactly.
And this is really my invitation for whoever gets to listen, like looking at whatever happened in our lives that was something that we wish it didn't happen and it was traumatic. Just taking, even I feel like taking the courage, looking at it, how is this a gift for
Mhm.
me? And it can be like real incredibly difficult. And as a, how is this a gift to me coming from a, let's say, 100%
Yeah.
responsibility, not from a place it's my fault?
Mhm.
Absolutely not. But how is this a gift to me? How have I become a better person out of that? How have I learned? How have I grown? How can I teach and
Yeah.
empower and pass my learning, my healing to someone else? And I believe that gives so much freedom
But then
looking at
also,
things
oh
like this.
sorry, also be okay with the fact that yeah, you missed out on opportunities, and that's so accept that too.
Yeah.
Like for example, because I wasn't a beautiful dancer, I missed out on a lot of opportunities. I still was hiding as a dancer, like my feminine self, like, so there's a lot of castings or a lot of stages where
Mm.
my beautiful dancers, they had the opportunity to do. Still, I had a lot of opportunities, but a lot now. So I could say, because of that, I missed out on that. Because of that, I didn't have the courage to go there. So don't be okay. Let your mind wander there, but be okay with that, because even
Mm.
without that, you wouldn't have done another thing.
Yeah.
So because our mind
Everything leads
always
to
goes to
something,
the
right?
negative too,
Yeah.
but be okay with it.
Yeah. That's beautiful. All right, Jessie. I mean, we are going towards the end. Is there any last message? Something, if there is one thing for our listeners to really kind of leave this conversation with, something we haven't talked about, what would that be?
Well, the thing is, it takes practice. That's what I want to say. It takes practice. It takes continuously repetition. That was a hard word to say. Like, repeat things to yourself, repeat actions, repeat practice. Like whenever you do something, don't think that, oh, after one time it's gonna be okay, or it's gonna be over, or it's gonna be realistic, practice. And for a dancer, I was a dancer, so I'm going to take that example. When we did a choreography, we learned a choreography. Like, one, we were in rehearsing all the time. Secondly, we thought we had it, like, I got it, whoo. And then we're on stage and you're like, shit, I
Oh
didn't have
God.
it as well as I thought. But that's because of then there's other emotions coming in at that
Yeah.
moment. There's the stage, there's maybe things going wrong behind the scenes, blah, blah, blah. So then there's the other level where, oh, I thought I got it, but I still don't have it. And then after rehearsing a few times on stage, like rehearsing in the training room, we got it. First time on stage, oh, we don't got it. Rehearsing on stage several times, now we have this shit. And then you go on television and then, damn, I didn't have it, you know? So it
Yeah.
takes practice, even for something you practice, but then you shift, you change something, something changes your life. The thing that you thought you had, you might not have it as well as you thought. So you get to practice it more. That's
Yeah.
it. Practice, practice, practice.
Totally. I love the thing. It's just muscle, right?
It is.
Confidence is a muscle. Being in your power, I feel like stepping in and being in your power, it's a muscle. It's
Yeah.
just consciously choosing, because the ego, the fear, and all of that, it will always be there. The fear
Yeah.
never goes away. If you guys waiting for the fear to go away, let's
It
just
will
accept it own, and
never.
it's a muscle. Just like, and again, being grounded in the vision, in what I want, what I'm creating, who am I, who I get to be, to create that is what keeps us moving forward.
Exactly. Oh, so
Thank you so
good.
much, Jessie. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank
much for
you.
your time and this conversation. I feel lit up and empowered and inspired and ready to work the day. And thank you so much for your
Oh,
authenticity, vulnerability, openness, and your transparency. Just being fully yourself and therefore giving really, I feel, people permission. Just, you know what? I just get to choose me and I just get to be authentic in myself today.
yay! Thank you for having me. And just quick promo, put it in there. I have an online series right now that is all about
Nice.
unlocking your online visibility. So it's really fun because every interview I also had aha moments. Like right now with you, it's like it's always good to have reminders. Oh, I forgot about that. Or blah blah blah. And so it's unlock your online visibility. And yeah, everyone is welcome. It's free, so come and join, and you have some great reminders or strategies or values, whatever you need at that time. It will bring it to you. If
I love that.
anything, like this
Mm,
conversation, something else. If it's the right time to hear some things, it's those things you're gonna hear.
totally. Thank you. We'll drop that link in the comments so people can just access it. And very last thing, where people can kind of continue to build a relationship with you.
Oh, so two things. Facebook group. I have a Facebook group. I'll put it also in the link. And secondly, I'm just having fun on Instagram too. Like
Yes.
just having fun on
All the
Instagram.
links will be provided. So
Yeah.
go and follow Jessie and get in her energy.
And
Thank you so much.
connect, be visible.
Be visible.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Martina.
No.
You're
Thank
amazing.
you very much. So you are.